A little while ago, I finished watching Akuma Kun on Netflix. Its dark and creepy art style reminded me of the occasional darker episodes that were in the recent adaptation of Gegege no Kitaro. I overall enjoyed Gegege no Kitaro, so naturally, I was drawn into checking out Akuma Kun with its similar art style. However, as I would eventually find out while watching this new Akuma Kun, it's easily considered a sequel to the Akuma Kun from the late 1980s. In this video, I'll go over some aspects of the original Akuma Kun, hopefully providing some context for new viewers who check out the new Akuma Kun on Netflix. Akuma Kun is based on a manga written and illustrated by Shigeru Mizuki in 1963, who previously, in 1960, wrote and illustrated the Gegege no Kitaro manga, which pretty much answers why Akuma Kun and Gegege no Kitaro's modern anime adaptations have a similar art style. Both original manga were written and illustrated by the same person. In fact, this new Akuma Kun anime even name drops Neko Musume, a character from Gegege no Kitaro, implying there is some form of shared universe here. Focusing on Akuma Kun, there have been multiple versions of the manga that have come out. However, in 1966, there was a live-action TV adaptation of Akuma Kun. The series ran for 26 episodes and featured Mitsunobu Kaneko as the titular Akuma Kun, who would later go on to play the titular Johnny Soko in Johnny Soko and His Flying Robot, unless you're watching the Japanese version, where his character's name is Daisaku Kusama, and the giant robot named Giant Robo is the titular character. Tokusatsu tangents aside, there is also two live-action TV movies, one in 1986 and another in 1987. The latter also served as a crossover between Akuma Kun and Gegege no Kitaro, the second official crossover between the two series. The two series had a previous crossover in a one-shot manga back in 1976. Getting to the anime, the first anime adaptation of Akuma Kun didn't come out until 1989. It ran for 42 episodes and spawned two movies. The first is titled Akuma Kun, and the other is titled Akuma Kun Welcome to Devilland. The new Akuma Kun does an okay job at eventually connecting the dots. However, it's been over 30 years since the last anime, and the new anime doesn't always convey information in the best way. One thing it does is it has two characters talk and banter over the ending credits. If you haven't seen any of the 1989 Akuma Kun, or if you're a new viewer, you probably don't know who they are, or why you should care about them. You can glean some plot relevant stuff from their conversations, and they have a small role in the anime, so they are important to some degree. These two characters are named Hayakume and Komori Neko, and are from the 1989 Akuma Kun, as is Shingo Umoregi, who was the previous Akuma Kun. The anime does a good job explaining him and his relationship with Ichiro Umoregi, who is the new Akuma Kun. What it doesn't really do is explain the world, all this magic stuff, or why some stuff is so significant. There's not a lot of world building here. If I were doing a proper review of this anime, I would say it may have benefited from a character like Mana from the recent Gegege no Kitaro, a character that could serve as an audience surrogate, a point of reference for the viewer, a character that knows as much about the world as the audience and can learn about it through other characters and events. It's a natural way to inform the viewer about the world in which the story and characters are set. Since I don't think the new Akuma Kun does a particularly good job at doing that, I'm going to explain some things from the older Akuma Kun that I think will help a little here. Starting off, the protagonist is nicknamed Akuma Kun, who is a child prodigy that is said to appear every 10,000 years. The previous one, as I said, being Shingo Umuragi. However, the given name of the protagonist may change in each version of the adaptation. In the original manga, Akuma Kun's name was Ichiro Matsushita. In the 1966 TV series, Akuma Kun's name was Shingo Yamada. And in the 1986 TV movie, Akuma Kun's name was Shingo Ito. However, something all adaptations tend to have in common is that Akuma Kun wants to create a world where all humans live together peacefully, known as the Millennium Kingdom, at least in the 1989 version. Akuma Kun believes harnessing the power of demons is necessary to make such a thing happen. The Millennium Kingdom is referenced a few times here in the new Akuma Kun. It's clearly important to some characters, but if you don't know them, you may not know why it's so important to them. Speaking of characters, a character that was referenced a few times but I don't think was ever shown was Dr. Faust. Dr. Faust is the one who taught Shingo the secrets of summoning demons and also gave him Solomon's flute, which allows him to bend demons to his will. Solomon's flute is super essential here in the new Akuma Kun anime, and if you've seen the older Akuma Kun, you know how powerful and useful it is. If you're a new viewer, you know it's significant, but you're never quite told why until it's finally able to be used, which happens very late in the anime. The flute allowed Shingo to gather quite a few demon followers. The followers are often referred to as the 12 Apostles, who are mentioned a handful of times in the new anime. Other than Mephisto II, Hyakume and Komorineko are also part of the 12 Apostles, something the new anime does mention, but again, if you're a new viewer, it doesn't really explain what the 12 Apostles are or who else is in it. The anime does let you know that they are somewhat important, but a new viewer isn't really given the context for why they are so important to these other characters. What I'd like to stress is that I don't think anyone has to watch the 1989 Akuma Kun to be able to watch and enjoy this new Akuma Kun. It explains just enough by the end, but basically the whole reason for this video was because I think it could have done a better job at providing a little more context to new viewers. Also, based on how the first season ended, I assume it's intended to have a continuation in some form, whether it's another season or a movie, I don't know, but it ends with quite the cliffhanger. One could even say heart-stopping. Before I wrap things up, I put out a few shorts of Gegege no Kitaro this month because of the relationship between it and Akuma Kun. Most of the footage from those videos is from an old video that I did years ago when Gegege no Kitaro was still airing. Unfortunately, that video hasn't been on YouTube for quite some time, not just because of copyright claims, but full-on copyright strikes. If you're interested in some of my thoughts on Gegege no Kitaro, you can go watch those shorts, but if you really want to watch the original video, it is currently on Patreon for free, link down in the description. Hopefully there won't be an issue. I've put that video on multiple video platforms over the years, but Toei always seems to find it and take it down. So watch it while you can, and consider supporting the channel while you're there. Anyway, hopefully this video helped give a little context to some of the older Akuma Kun related content that appears in the new Akuma Kun anime. Go ahead and let me know in the comments what you thought of the new Akuma Kun on Netflix. Also, feel free to let me know if this was the first Akuma Kun anime you watched or if you were familiar with the older Akuma Kun adaptations. With all that said, I've been Anime Visor, thanks for watching, and see you later. Bye bye.